Alright, we're gonna start right now. So, I'm starting with a sphere right now. It's okay, but this is not where we're going to stay. I'm actually gonna hit N, and I'm going to go over to the side toolbar, and then use this add-on that I have called VDM Brush Maker. This is able to be enabled in your add-ons list by searching up VDM, and I'm going to show how VDMs work. If you want to speed up your workflow, you can actually make VDMs pretty quickly, and they're useful. ZBrush has the same kind of tooling in a different area and different way, but here we are. And I'm going to actually build out parts for a face really quickly. I'll make a weird eye. I mean, I'm not going to make this perfect, because I just want to show you how the tool set works. But yeah, we can do this a little bit. So, and in fact, I'm going to make the eye how I'd usually make an eye. I'll do this. So what this does is actually puts a multi-res on a plane, but it's doing much more. And honestly, I should save. I'm gonna save really quick. We're gonna call this tutorial sculpt. There we go. But yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty explanatory how to do this. Really all I'm doing is setting up the eyeball. And I still need to get an eyeball in there. I tend to actually put an eyeball around there when I'm sculpting. That way I can tell if the shape actually matches up or not. And there's other methods I can make a VDM with the eye. This is just me making it really quickly with the tools. Yeah. I feel like I should hide that now. I need to see what's going on the inside of here. This is just me nitpicking it. I don't think I really have to. And it does actually like pick up on the shape on the inside. Like it'll put that in your model. Um, yeah. It might be good enough. Yeah. I kind of want this to be flat. Hmm. Let's try to build you up. That should be good enough. Oh. Well, not edit mode, sculpt mode. I need to add a couple like small things I want to add to it, but pretty much the eyeball. And the thing about VDMs I tend to do is I don't use them as like the end all be all. They're just like a quick lay-in of a form that you want to get into your model. So if I was being like actually fast and professional, I wouldn't sculpt anything out all the time. Like I'd sculpt it in, but I'd probably use VDMs that I pre-made if I wanted speed and like it to look better, like quick, like faster. Not look better, but if I wanted it to be faster, like that's what I would do. Um, and I don't make these videos for my own health. I actually genuinely want to educate people on the tooling of Blender, just so they can do some fun things like I have, and possibly make stuff that you'd want in the future. I just feel like there's not a lot of good learning. Well, there is good learning resources. It's just not taught how I would teach it. That's all I would say. It's still completely valid. I just had to watch like 80 videos or some crazy amount of videos to like learn all the knowledge I have. No. And you can actually make these pretty detailed if you wanted to. I'm just making it very basic because like if I want to add anything later. I think that'll be the shape. So we'll use this, and then we'll turn this. Oh, I might want to fix that really quick. I want that pinched inwards. There we go. And then I can fix everything else in the actual sculpt. So I'm going to call this VDM brush, and then we'll render and create it. And the cool thing is, if you want to make secondary versions of this, you can actually sculpt back on here and re-render it with a different name. But what this essentially has done is automatically created a brush in your brushes, which you will have to save the texture, because it's actually an image texture that's being used. But yeah, definitely a tool worth using, because now if I go into sculpt mode and decide to sculpt my stuff, I can actually like add the eyeballs directly onto the model instantly, anywhere that I want. So usually how I do this, I'd probably like sculpt in a kind of eye socket area for this to sit in, unless you want it to bulge out your face. And then I would add them, because now you have like an actual area where the eye is sitting inside of it. And maybe I would even add like a little bit of a ball. That way it's sitting on a rounded shape. And I'll scale that, and then I'll... Yeah. And then I can like quickly lay in eyeballs. In fact, if I want to be more accurate, I'd probably like fix the shapes up of these eye sockets and the bridge and the nose area, because this would technically be where the nose is. And the thing is, like, I can sculpt all this in if I wanted to. This just saves time. Like, you saw how quickly I could add that eye. It just, that's all it is a time saver. It's just another tool in your tool belt. And I tend to switch between my tablet and my mouse. So, like, I've been using my mouse the whole time to do this. So don't feel discouraged if you don't have a drawing tablet right off the bat. Like, you can get one later. You can still sculpt pretty prolific things. The only thing I'll say is if you have a mouse, you'll have to switch the strength of your brush repeatedly, just to get the same effects that I would get with a drawing tablet. I do tend to do that sometimes when I'm using a brush. So we have the eye, and in fact, because I need a eyeball, I'm just gonna move this in here and make sure it's the correct size. There we go. And then I'll mirror it on the object itself. And I'll just, I don't know if I'll apply it, because I don't know if they're going to stay there. But yeah, I'll hide that. I'll create a new one. So this one will be the nose, and I'll do one for the mouth as well. The mouth one will be different, but yeah. In fact, I can just... How do I want to do this? There we go. I probably could have sculpted this, and I just wanted to like pull it out because it's easier for me for this part. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna sculpt in the nose hole. Little nostril action. And pretty much have a nose. Now, mouths are going to be different. I'm going to do a different type of mouth than just drawing it on. Drawing it on is a specific type of mouth that you can do. I'm gonna render that out. I'll just label these really quickly so it's easier to tell what's going on. There. So we got the eye and we got the nose, and then they're rendered out. And honestly, I should have added the nose first, but it's too late. Because what'll happen is it'll try to warp the eyes. The way I can get around this is by masking out the area where I want the nose to be. And then hitting Control-I to invert it. And now it should only put the nose on the thing. There we go. And then I'll remesh really quick to get rid of all that funkiness inside the nose hole. There you go. You got a nose. And I should have made his face longer. I should have done a lot of things to the sculpt that I didn't. But I just wanted to show you how easy VDMs can be in your like tool set of like making things quickly. I think I'm gonna scrape off the side. I'm gonna make his chin and everything right now. Yeah, fix that jaw. And this is gonna be another one of my unedited videos because I'm lazy, but I also still want to educate people and I want to do it in interesting ways. I'm just not. I've realized what kind of like way I like to create content, and it just sort of works out sometimes. I don't know how. Maybe I'm lucky, but it just works. Those are weird eyes. See, this is why I needed to like come back and fix it. Oh, I don't even know what's going on with the eyes. And one thing I learned from a sculpting server at some point is that you want to consistently look at all your angles, because like what looks underneath, like it won't look the same from the side or like just from the front. I wasn't looking below and up enough, so like now I am. It's not mandatory, but it's just good practice to know what you're sculpting, from what I understand. A more like experienced sculptor would probably tell me way more nuanced things than me, because like I'm just a hobbyist in this. Like this has only ever been a hobby. I just got pretty proficient at it. That's it. And I'm not even like at the level that I've seen some people. In fact, I think his eyes are too big. So I'll actually show you a thing that I can do. I can do this. I'll mask out the area. This will actually mask out the back. I have front faces turned off. I'll just unmask the back and that's it. But basically what I'm going to do is scale the eyes. And I have moving the pivot to a hotkey. So this is under sculpt and under set pivot, and you can right click and set the hotkey. Oh. Really all I want to do is scale it. There we go. Oh, let me look at this from a front view. That's probably good. And I'll just remesh again. and then adjust the sculpt. Well, I probably want it a little bit higher. Be careful with remesh again, like I said before, because it has the possibility of like stalling your computer and you'll have to like force shut it off. It's not ideal. Yeah. I guess to the mouth. I mean, I can make this way better. And I think I will really quickly after this, but because I like cartoony shapes and proportions. So I'd probably like move stuff around just to make it feel a certain way. So I'm gonna make a mouth now. There's two types of mouths. The one that's not really sculpted in, and then you can make something called a mouth bag, which is what I'm gonna attempt to make now. So mouth bags are actually like what they sound like. They're just a hole that just goes into the model, and usually it's to hold the teeth. I'm gonna make this one a bit complex because like I want it to actually just be like a mouth. And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna pinch the lips together. Because what's gonna happen is the lips will be together, but it'll still pick up on how to model this into your sculpture. There we go. Now this will be mouth bag, render and create. His eyes are really tiny now. I think I could use that though. That could be funny. Use that, and what it'll do is it should produce the inside as well. I see it. Yeah. Yeah, it did. It produced inside. So how you'd remesh this is not using the default remesher. You'd actually want to do this, and I might want to mask out the area. Not what I want to do. I don't want to have his mouth open. What am I doing? Is it a scaling issue? Oh, it's not. Oh my god. I guess I can't have it that big right off the bat. Weird. I mean, this is good enough to get the thing done. Because I'll just stretch it. I'll just stretch it bigger. There you go. And then I'll make the lips out a bit. Well, that's pretty much how I would sculpt, like, with more speed, using one add-on that comes with Blender, is VDM Brush Picker. I don't do this often. I actually tend to sculpt straight out my head, which leads to me being slower. Yeah, and I'll actually probably speed up this part of the video, or maybe let it. I might play through it. Let's see what I like say during it, but I'm gonna essentially sculpt this guy out a bit more and then set up a material on him. So like I said with the lips, you want to hit Dynotopo mode when you remesh. And the reasoning behind this is that Dynotopo does not merge the edges between the lips. And you can color pick the amount of detail. So I'm gonna detail flood fill it. You can also mask out areas and put detail in certain spots, which could be pretty useful. It's gonna take a second to remesh. And then I'm gonna turn Dynotopo off because it uses quite a bit of performance that I'm not too happy with. No, not gonna load. This is the issue with Blender versus ZBrush, is like ZBrush will instantly remesh and do stuff. Blender takes a second, and also I probably made that too high. Uh, Regardless, we're keeping it now. I'm not gonna remesh it again. Um, Unless I remesh it lower or remesh a certain area. In fact, I probably could have just gotten the mouth area. In retrospect. So because I did this, now I can actually hit Shift A, and usually it hits up topology as the auto masking feature or mesh boundary. And what this will do is it'll only select the top faces of the lip. Take a second. There we go. And how this can be used is you can set a face set from the masked area, and now I can hide it. So now if I want to sculpt on these lips or in the inside of the mouth, I can just hide pieces. And in fact, it looks like it didn't really get the mouth too well on the inside. Actually looking at it, like I don't have like lips, like a big lipped mouth bag area that I wanted. Honestly, if I want to, I could probably mask this out again. Just a small amount, and then face set from masked. And really what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to, I think I have to Shift H, I think it was. Is it Shift H? Yeah. That way I can make these one face set. And then I can continue to fix the areas between them and smooth it out better. And in ZBrush face sets are obviously polygroups, if you've used ZBrush before. This is just Blender's way of doing it. Alright, so now I'm going to start using my tablet pen a little bit more than I was. I'm going to do this. I've also realized how much you can like dig into the form to get it to render correctly in lighting scenarios. That surprised me. That's something I looked at pretty recently when I sculpted something for fun with VDMs. Yeah. So now we have the lips, and I might actually pull those down. Now it should like, yeah. Oh. And I'm make this a bit thicker. Push them together. And the grab tool is generally to keep the kind of same proportional things going on. I don't know what kind of guy this is. It's kind of looking weird. And the whole thing isn't about the sculpt looking pretty. In fact, more of what I'm doing was just trying to give you the tools necessary to sculpt on your own. That's all I was trying to do. I don't know if I want to make these eyes bigger. I will actually add in the brows properly though. I'm gonna use my brush. Not this is set up correctly. Yeah, it is. I think he's missing quite a bit of his top skull, but I don't know what just happened there. That was weird. Let me look at this. Yeah, it's missing a little bit of it. Let me move this back. I'll make him a cone head. But yeah, a lot of my structure for the head comes from drawing skulls. I don't think I'm particularly perfect. I've seen better skulls. Yeah. Just kind of playing right now. And I use Snakehook quite a lot to basically morph the image, the sculpture around. It's pretty much the liquefy tool of 3D in some ways. And I should have turned off the face set a while ago so I could see what's going on. But right now that I can see, like, his head too long. Like, his jawline is just too long. His eyes are really tiny. I may have overcompensated on that part and made them too small. And his cheeks are pretty wide. I think it's the eyes, though. I'm gonna try to, like, stretch them out. Generally, that's not a great idea, but for this, I don't really care. I don't even know what the lighting scenario is. So there's a couple ways you can light it. You can use Blender's, like, you can actually set up lights and stuff. There's a quick way to look at lighting, which is shadows under your material, like your viewport display material. And you can essentially move it with this ball here and, like, see the kind of lighting on the model. You can also change the material to a matte cap or whatever you need. This matte cap I made, and it was to specifically see reflections and, like, little minute details in the sculpture that might be messed up. That's all this one was for. That's also why it's so shiny. People tend to not like it because it's very plasticky. I like it, if only for that, to see what I'm doing when I'm sculpting. It's not made for the final material by no means. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And if I had any idea of what I was sculpting, you see how VDMs can make you a little bit faster. Like, I was just sculpting off the top of my head, trying to figure out what to make. If you had more of an idea of what you're trying to sculpt, you would be able to do this much faster and with more intent. But for fun, like, this is a great tool set to know. I will always recommend Blender first because of the price tag. It is free. I'm at like a big poly count. I don't even know what poly count I'm at. I'm at 3,000. No, 3 million. 3 million polys right here. No wonder it's so slow. This is when you want to like detail more. Is at 3 million. You don't need it that, like right now. Or like higher. I'm gonna make him a bit different. I'm gonna use my mouse look navigation. That's why. Strength might be a bit high. No, it might be where I like add a little bit of asymmetry just to make him like have more imperfections and stuff. And this isn't for a game or anything. If you want to make it for a game, you'd probably retopo it and then add a multi-res on top of it. And then shrink wrap the detail back onto it. I'll make a video on that eventually. This is more of a fun sculpt and like teaching exercise where I can like show you how to quickly make like a person. And this will only stay as a head sketch. This is just to show you like the process of like sculpting. Just sculpting, like how I would go about sculpting something rather quickly. I don't know if I'll ever use this guy for anything. Probably not. And in fact, there's lots of imperfections with people. So like even like a small like thing about his nose being off-centered, his eye a bit, like little minor things we have as humans that we do tend to pick up on. And I haven't gotten to skin pores or rendering yet. Like, I have so much to show. And this is how I'm using my free time before I have to go to work. Is teaching people. I think people fail to understand how I really do genuinely like helping people. It's just there's only so much I'm gonna do for somebody before they have to help themselves. So like YouTube videos will probably be like the best way I can give back this information that I found online without like stressing myself out. and then also helping people. I do want to start a Discord server at some point. I am not sure what for. I wanted to originally make it just about narrative stuff. But it might just become an art server. The biggest thing with me and the art servers that I've been in that I've noticed is some people don't really have direction. And while I think that's okay to some extent, I think the biggest thing that I learned last year and this year for direction stuff is like just choosing one as your main. So like let's say you can do everything, but then have a main one that you can like reliably want to get a job in or something. And that'll like push you forwards and you only want to learn more vast skills in that one. That way you can build up a career in that one or something later. That's all I would say is like the focus. That way you don't get lost in the minutia of like, what is art? No, it's, well, there's a lot of things that art is, right? Like art encompasses 3D, it encompasses painting, it encompasses drawing. What type of art do you want to do, essentially? For a living, if you want to do this for a living, I do. I'm just actually researching right now currently how I want to go about it. And yeah. And let me know if you want me to talk about that. I'm not a wizard or a huge knowledge person on that spectrum of like how people make money with this. I'm actually curious about how they go about it. The more I look at it, they're just putting something out there and selling it. And I've seen it happen in real time in front of my eyes. The thing is like getting it done and like consistently doing work and failing first and then just learning from it. Like that's the biggest thing that I've noticed. Is all failures ever are is learning opportunities, and if you don't learn from a failure, then that's the issue. So I think like you should never hate failure. Just know that it's something that you can pick yourself back up from. And I'm gonna try to do it more. So you'll see more things probably come out of me soon. Even if it's just videos. Like I just want to do more. I think it's a healthier mindset for me if I want to do this type of stuff long term. And I might add skin pores. I mean, I really just want to do the head. I didn't even add ears if you noticed. I'm making him like super wrinkly and stuff. Um, I don't know if I want that. I know that like wrinkles do happen here, and like they tend to be like wrinkles that come down from your cheek line. And, yeah, bigger shapes that are like looping on themselves. I just haven't done enough research on that side of like facial features. I know that they do exist though, right here. I might just knock it back a bit. Just have it exist on the head. Like a small minor detail. I kind of want a bigger scar, like on his lip. Because like I just find those appealing or interesting to look at. Like just this. Yeah. And I think maybe I could like etch into it. There you go. But yeah, there you go. And I could add a lot more details. I will. I'll show you how the stencil tools work and surface detail. Um, maybe. Where are his eyes, actually? See, this is why I didn't keep his eyes merged or like mirrored, because I might have to move them, and then I just have to make new spheres if they don't fit. Um, so I'd rather just keep them unmerged. So when I get here, I can just do this. Uh, oh, see, like that detail thing that I did. It's messed up his eye. I just inflated a bit. I'll be lazy. There you go. And because his eyebrows are here, I can actually mask them out and pull them down a bit. I might do that. In fact, I'm gonna I'm gonna do this. Oh, I'm gonna grab this side, and then I'm gonna do it now. Make him angry, angry old man. Questioning old man. Alright, there we go. I'll have that be your old man. And you see how much fun you can have with sculpture. Especially if you want to do asymmetry, like, it's so fun. Like, if I wanted to make him smile, I could too. And just be, oh, he's smiling. But yeah. Maybe I'll have him sneering, that's why his lip was up. He's got this kind of... It's a bit much. Uh, I grab the whole... And there we go. And I'll actually just render this out with a camera and image really quick. I didn't want this video to be too long. Maybe I'll do skin pores in another video on the same sculpture. I'll get a side view, like a vaguer side view of this man. And I'll post him on Twitter and Instagram if anybody wanted to see him rendered after the video. So I'll actually zoom in. And I'll probably post the video with the render. This will go into like how I render things actually. So I tend to get a singular light, and I guess if he's... I guess I could do this since he's like looking at the camera. And I want to do this. That's a good one. And basically what I'll do for the other side is a blue light. And I turn off the specular, I make it blue, and then I lower the saturation. The specular is for the reflectiveness. You don't want your shadows reflecting like that. I used to, and that was a bad idea. I just didn't realize it. And this is purely to see the detail in the shadows. Just to know what you're looking at in the shadows, and then add a secondary thing, a spotlight, and this will purely be to get the rim lighting of the side of his head. And 3D has certainly taught me more presentation skills with art. That is one thing I will say 3D has taught me. Well, that's probably good. And I tend to make it pitch black background to get more poppy stuff going on. And then for the material, I'll actually just make him like a vague. Well, I'll paint on the material too. I'll do quite a bit with this guy. I might get the fake eyes, or I'll leave them white or something. I don't know what I'll do. But material wise, we're gonna change the roughness down. I don't want them shiny there. I'm going to add a subsurface. In fact, I might have to paint the subsurface in. Or I'll be lazy, I don't know. And now I'm going to go to the shading tab and start adding some more things to this guy. So like with this skin, we're going to add a color attribute. I'll name this blood because this won't actually be his skin, this will be the blood texture. I wonder if I can actually just type that in. Cool. They changed the rendering for Blender, so I'm super surprised when I see that. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the base color, and the first color will be the color of the skin, and then, actually no, the first color will be, yeah, the first color will be the color of the skin. And then the second color will be the blood. So we'll make him kind of a sickly pink. And then, because I have a color attribute in here, it now means I can go into sculpt mode. And I can actually paint directly onto the model. Diatopa will delete all that, and I will turn off the face sets. Yeah. So with white, I can actually paint the color directly on top of my model. This can be very handy if you want to paint certain areas of your model. And I'm probably gonna lower it afterwards, the colors, because this is a bit bright. And I'll do that through the shader. Materials and shaders are the same thing in my mind. I don't know how true that is, but it seems like all materials tend to be set up in shading node trees, especially in video games. So like that tends to be the case, it seems. I could be wrong. In fact, I can go to material preview to have a better view of this faster, in what I'm painting here. There we go. The cool thing about Blender in sculpt mode is you can actually, you can still smooth out areas with your brush, like by hitting shift. You can smooth out the colors if you needed to. But I might not change the color. It depends on how I feel. I might just knock it back. If I can do that. You know, the tumbler knows. Yeah. Red. It's one. There we go. That's a much nicer looking color scheme. There you go. And I'll just leave the eyes white. You'll see him just existing with crazy eyes. Just because I'm feeling lazy right now. I guess rendering. And in fact, to change the lighting a bit more, I'll add a point light. And I'll just like add red or like a different color, and what'll happen is it'll light the model. Maybe it'll blue. I'll do blue. I actually do the hues of the lights of the head generally when people paint or like draw. So you have yellows, you have all these different colors that tend to show up that people have kind of. I don't know if it's made up or how they do it, but there's like hue shifting in the color values. Or like different color values on the face. So like the facial area tends to be blue, the forehead's yellow, and then the head is I can't remember what the head is. But that's what they tend to do. So like just adding that extra level of like extra lighting. And then I can like is that too much? A little bit more. And then I will actually create a roughness layer. So I will. This is the cool thing about Blender, is you can actually change the colors of every channel. So this is 0.5. 0.5 saturation 0. So you want the saturation to be 0 on this, of course, and then so it's grayscale because it's going directly into the roughness channel. That's all grayscale and roughness. So this should work, and then I should be able to now select the roughness layer and then sculpt in the colors that I want. So paint layer, there we go. And in fact, you can actually change the values. So I don't know if this is the shinier color or shinier is lighter, I think. Is that correct? I have to look at it. No, okay, so it's darker. I'm gonna actually make the lip area more wet. This is like an extra layer of things you can just do in Blender, which is super cool. And if I was trying to be careful, I'd probably pay more attention. I just want the under the eye. And then a little bit of the nose. And the thing about the fact that this is all done on the shader node is I can actually lower the colors. Like I can change the amount of sheen via the color with the mix color. I tend to do that because like you can actually change all the colors to whatever you want them to be. So let's say these reds are too bright for me, I can actually like just lower it or desaturate it or do all manner of things just to make it how I want. Like look, now it's yellow. It's definitely like there's a reason I do this. In fact, I think I want to change the sunlight to a more yellowish hue. Like very minorly. And I still think that he doesn't have enough. Yeah, I can just like do this, right? Yeah. And also, the subsurface is what makes things feel like skin. Um, I could paint this layer on as well, but I'm not going to. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much how I would like make a sculpture model type thing. I kind of want like a red to be coming down on him, just to lighten up this area a bit. Make it feel more alive. And now I should be able to, if there isn't anything in the scene, render this out. And I'm going to save, and then you get a little bit of the nose VDM, and probably the eye VDM. Just make sure these are all out of the camera, and I can just unrender them. So now it should be rendered. And voila, you have your head. I tend to add ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen space reflections on. I'm not quite using any materials that require it, I don't think. But bloom will let you have the glow. So if I were to like say click on his eyes and then make the emission like higher, you should see his eyes glow like Herobrine or something. I don't need that, but that's definitely a thing you can do. And like the inside of his eye would be red right here. I'm not gonna futz about it, but yeah, I'm gonna render this out and post it now.